Tuesday. And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl, Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Coffee and Conversation with Shakenya, and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see any of them that you like, I appreciate if you hit share. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold y'all on today. When you get a minute too, after you go to the YouTube channel, get a copy of my book, Dysfunctional Family Knot. Please, you can get it from lulupublishing.com or you can get it from Amazon. So y'all, where we at today? Today we are raising our daughters, part 60. Am I jumping Facebook? Yeah. Let's try to start again. So we are raising our daughters, part 60. I know you like, just be done with it, huh? With the girls. Just be done with it. No. We got to take our time with these little girls. Yeah. Because you got to keep in mind, we're raising them to be somebody's wife. So we got to take our time with these little girls because we're raising them to be somebody's wife. We're raising them to be somebody's mom. We're raising them to be somebody's big mom someday. Right? So, yep. We in part 60. And the girls are 13 and 17. And the boys are in their 20s. And they still out on their own. Yep, with their families. They are fathers to their children. Yep. My fatherless boys are actually fathers to their children. Right? So by 2016, I've already broken a cycle. Yep. Of our children growing up without fathers in their lives. I've already broken a cycle by 2016. That was one of my missions. It was one of my goals. It was one of my goals. And I successfully, yeah. My 17-year-old is not pregnant, not active, and not pregnant. So that's a generational curse that I've managed to break by 2016. Facebook ain't getting no love. They keep stopping. So we're going to close Facebook out. We just going to. I'm trying to keep you on Facebook. Yep, so I done broke that generational curse. That was one of my missions. That was one of my goals. My son graduating high school. Yep, I'm not going to say one of the first males in my family, but definitely it was a big thing for him to graduate high school with no criminal history or background. Fix it, Jesus. Which was actually one of my missions and my goals as well. Right? I'm proud that both of my boys are keeping jobs. They know the importance of stability. I'm proud that both of my boys are keeping jobs. They know the importance of stability. They know the importance of independence. They know the importance of maintaining employment. Right? Expanding the girls' vocabulary, right? So now I'm using words like consistency, right? Letting them know what that means. Being consistent, me doing things how I do, as often as I do, right? Legacy, using words like legacy, right? Showing them what my legacy looks like this far. This far, I've managed to raise my little brothers after the death of my mom, right? Managed to live, take care of them, go to school, graduate, start a youth program. By this time, we moving. I done started the cleaning company. So my legacy is growing, right? My children are a part of that because they're a part of everything that I'm doing. So using words like legacy, inheritance. Because by this time, by me creating these businesses, I'm talking to the children about inheritance. What I'm going to leave them when I'm gone, right? What they'll be able to do with the things that I have left them, right? So this time we're talking about legacy, right? And I threw a new word at them. The girls, I'm getting them prepared to help me with the youth program. So now I've told them about confidentiality. So I have them signing a confidentiality agreement because the stuff that we're going to talk about now moving forward with the children and the people that participate in the program, my babies can't talk about it with nobody, right? So they can't be talking about these people's business. So they know what confidentiality agreement means by now, right? I'm rolling out plan A. So by this time, everybody knows that the cleaning company is going to be our vehicle to get us up out the hood. Everybody knows that right about now, right? So they know that we're going to get this cleaning company going. We're going to generate money from this cleaning company. They're going to clean. I'm going to pull out. I know that didn't sound right. Meaning that I'm not going to be cleaning anymore, right? And then they're going to clean, and then they're going to pull out eventually. They're not going to clean, and they're going to hire people to clean for them. So by this time, we got the company going, right? And they're going to clean, and then they're going to pull out eventually. They're not going to clean, and they're going to hire people to clean for them. So by this time, we got the company going, right? At some point, my grandchildren are going to be working to clean the company, right? And then so by this time, we got the company going, right? At some point, my grandchildren are going to be working to clean the company, right? And then they're going to branch off and have their own contracts, right? So by this time, I have contracts now. In 2016, me and the children are cleaning together. My little brother coming with us sometimes, but mainly it's just me and the kids. Me, my son, and my two daughters. So we have contracts in Oak Park by now, and we have contracts in, I think we had 2 at this time. So yeah, we're cleaning on the weekends. So that picture that you see with the kids standing by the bucket, yeah, that was our contract in Oak Park. And then the picture that you see where all the kids have their t-shirts on, that was at our first event where about 10 to 15 people came, right? Nobody signed their children up, right? Attitude Adjustment was just launching, right? And the kids told me afterwards, it's going to be okay. They said, people are going to sign up, Mom. It's going to be okay. And sure enough, after that, people started calling. People started showing up. People started inviting me to meetings. I started meeting the right people. Eventually, the program made it to the resource binder of the juvenile court system. By this time, I'm being recognized, and I've had my first interview on Channel 4. By this time, for the youth program. That's that incline that I was telling you about, because everything happened in that order with the youth program. So remember I told you we were going up. Every year we were getting better and better. Every year was better than the year before. That's what I mean. By the end of 2016, I've accumulated 2 more new contracts with the cleaning company. And I'll give you a sneak peek, because by 2017, I had gotten the school in Westland, the school in Inkster. That's a sneak peek, because we're in 2016 now, right? But I'm going to give you a sneak peek of 2017. Yeah, we had gotten the cleaning company, the contract for Inkster School, a Westland School, and the Birmingham Municipal Center by the end of 2017. But we're going to come back to 2016. Because she left about 2018, 2019, right? Yeah, so Yeah, but 2016, we doing pretty good, guys. So can you see the progression over time since we started this? Since we started raising our daughters, we done made it to 2016. You see the progression? All the classes are still in session. It's becoming a little challenging by 2016. Because remember, I hadn't seen everything that Dad was doing, but I am noticing that something is not right. Some little things are off. Not enough to throw us off our game, because remember, my household hadn't been affected yet. But definitely, I'm sensing something is a little off. Even if it's just me having to reprogram her every now and then, when she comes home to clean her room and get back into the routine, or our car ride conversations, it's like I got to pull it out of her. How was her day? That would only happen every now and then. So, but it bothered me a little bit, but every child is different. And even though I didn't have that with the other children, and mind you, two of the other children ain't even biologically mine. They my two little brothers. But who knows, right? I'm still not thinking. I'm a little slow. Because you got to keep in mind, he's part of, her dad is part of the village. The youngest father's dad is part of the village. So I'm not thinking that him and his family going against me. I'm thinking that we all working together to raise the baby, right? She not showing no signs of anything going on or anything wrong. So I'm not thinking they're going as far as they're going. All these manipulation tips that I'm bringing to you is just now coming to the surface because she's been out of my life 6 years and I got to find out why. Right? Why a child that I gave birth to, a child that I love so dear, a child that I took such good care of is out of my life and chose that. And people allowed it and made a way for that. I got to get to the bottom of that. Because if that can happen to me, that can happen to anybody. And if this is happening all over the world, this is the reason why us as people of color can't get no further than where we are. Because if you mean to tell me every time you build a village, somebody is actually intentionally breaking it apart, somebody is actually working behind the scenes to tear you down. You a black man with a business. You want your children to work with you. You depend on your children. And this baby mama pulls that child out your life. That's the same thing that happened to me. It's just reversal because I'm the mama. And you rarely see that with a mama. It's rare that a daughter turns on her mama. So to see my case and to see it has happened to me, yeah, I got to figure out what's going on. I got to get to the bottom of it. So now all these things are coming up now. Now I'm realizing all the manipulation tips that were being used. Now I see all the lies that were told. Now I know what happened, right? Dad was working overtime. Just as much as I put into my plan, Dad was putting into his. Just the steps that I was taking going on the incline, Dad was doing it too. It's just we were working on two different plans. Yeah, I was working on a plan to get me and my children out. He was just working on a plan to get the baby out. All the classes were being taught. Yeah, so Dad was fighting me at this point. So 2016, I'm starting to sense a little pushback. I'm seeing something going on. Can't really put my finger on it. Yeah, because everybody was doing what they were supposed to do and everybody was where they were supposed to be. The plan was working and the system was working. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Yeah, we were in a good place. So even though I lost that job working with that community nonprofit, whatever the hell, they were dealing with children aging out of foster care. Yeah, by me getting the contracts that I had with the cleaning company, I was still able to maintain my living, right? So we weren't struggling. I was just making ends meet, right at the cuff. As soon as I get that little money, bills is paid, that's it. So you already know when you start a new business, you probably not going to see a profit for the first year or two, right? So we're in that patch. But I do know if we continue to do what we're doing, if we continue to accumulate contracts, we're going to be okay. And so 2016, I'm confident that we're going to be okay. Nobody's wanting for anything and nobody's lacking in any way. Right? Nobody needs anything. Nobody's wanting for anything. The things I can't do for the baby, her daddy and them was doing. Things I couldn't do for the oldest daughter, her daddy and them was doing. Things I couldn't do for the sons, I didn't have to because they was grown and they was on their own doing for me. Yeah, I can call them and ask them for a couple dollars if I need it. They were both driving. They were independent. So, yeah, we good in 2016. Yeah. Not really missing a beat. So one of the fights that we're having right now, or have had, is dad giving her a cell phone. I don't believe in children having cell phones. There was no need for him to give her one. If he wanted to call and check on her, all he had to do was call me and I'd give her the phone. He talked to her and give it back. But no, dad got her a cell phone anyway at age 10 or 11, right? Now, this is after I let him know that I'm trying to preserve innocence. Mind you, I'm the mom. So usually when you guys break up, you have children, you got a little boy, let dad take the lead. You have a little girl, of course, mom is going to take the lead, right? So I'm taking the lead on this, and I choose not to give my children a cell phone until they get about the 8th grade because there's no need for one, right? But dad got her that cell phone, and dad talked to her every day, all day. It was such an inappropriate relationship that it made me sick to my stomach. Because what do you have to talk to this little girl about every day, all day? You got a wife. You got another child. You have work. You have other. He would call her all day, every day on that phone. And now that she's out my life, I know what they were talking about. Me. So that was a fight. He ended up giving it to her anyway, even though I let him know the reasons why. Yeah, your baby mama, baby daddy has a concern about the baby. You have to hear them out. You have to hear them out, and you have to take into consideration their concern. If my concern is not giving her a cell phone because I'm trying to preserve innocence, I don't want her on the internet, I don't want her involved in social media, and I'm trying to shelter her from the world. If my concern is not giving her a cell phone because I'm trying to preserve innocence, I don't want her on the internet, I don't want her involved in social media, and I'm trying to shelter her from the world, Dad gave me such a pushback, and it should have been a fight. Dad should have been on board with that. So that's one fight that we're having right now. Yeah, when it comes to cell phones, I replace cell phones with educational programs, reading books, playing outside. Like when the grandkids come over here, cell phones is replaced by the trampoline in the back and all the toys that's in the backyard. Yeah, they hardly ever be on their phone or their tablet when they come over here because we always doing something, right? So in my case, they were reading books, watching different programming. I had my daughters watching the Cosby Show in a different world. Yeah, because they were reading books, watching different programming. I had my daughters watching the Cosby Show. Yeah, I made them watch shows like that. Shows that was good for me coming up, right? I kind of made their childhood similar to mine. Like, I had fun as a kid. In spite of my mom's addiction, the rest of the family was functional. I had a good childhood. I played outside with my friends. So I kind of duplicated that in the upbringing of my children. I included that in my parenting style. So let me see. The cell phone was one fight. I've had to speak to the dad more than once about taking her to her physical. Both my daughters were involved in basketball, volleyball. The baby was involved in cheer and golf. So they would have to have physicals every year to participate in these sports. I've taken my children to all their doctor's appointments throughout the marriage and whatnot. So as soon as we broke up, Dad turned into a baby mama instantly, right? Turned to a baby mama instantly. So some of the things that I was doing, Dad started doing. You don't do that. When y'all break up and y'all have separate households, unless you have to do certain things because y'all in separate households, chances are it's okay to remain doing or continue to do the roles and the things that you were doing in the relationship. I encourage you not to step out of pocket. I encourage you, if the mama was the one making the doctor's appointments, let mama continue making the doctor's appointments, Dad. Or if Dad was making the doctor's appointments, Mom, you don't have to start doing it now unless Dad asked you to do it, right? Yeah, you don't have to change roles. You don't have to come out of character. You might have to do a few things, like if you have a little girl, Dad, and she's over your house, if Mom didn't do her hair before she sent her over, you might have to do her hair. You might have to get her dressed. You might have to do little things like that you probably wouldn't do in the marriage because Mom would do it. But for the most part, continue doing the same things you were doing in the relationship and in the marriage. It was no reason for Dad to have to jump out of character and take her to her physical. I'm quite sure she would have been more comfortable with Mom in the room with her while she gets undressed than Dad. It was no need for Dad to step out of character, right? But he doing that, so we fighting. And I had to tell him 2 or 3 times, don't take her to her physical, because you got to keep in mind, every year, they got to have it. Fix it. Jesus, fix it. So we fighting about that. By this time, Dad said he wanted to get her some braces. She didn't need braces, right? So I let him know she don't need braces, but next year, if you feel the need, maybe we can both go in on it, whatever your insurance don't cover, whatever mine don't cover, because she was on both of our insurances, right? I don't know why he tried to make it seem as if he cared so much more about her or was doing so much more, right? I was already respecting him. I was already sharing her with him equally. I was already giving him his time. If I'm already sharing her, it's a reason for you to try to convince her that she'll be better off just solely living with you. That's a selfish move and it's a low move. You don't do that. You don't do that when you're raising children. Y'all share the babies equally. And that's exactly what we were doing when she was living with me. Soon as she went to stay with him, everything was disconnected. There was no communication. There was no relationship. I haven't seen my baby in 6 years. But up until 15 and a half, and she was living with me, we had a schedule, we had a routine, we had structure. She was over there every weekend. She was over there for the summer. She was with me Monday through Friday. I did all the heavy lifting, taking her to school, picking her up, taking her all her practices throughout the week, and pitched in on the weekend if she needed to go anywhere, right? No need for Dad to overstep and take more. It was no need because I wasn't fighting him. He was fighting me, right? So let's see, the cell phone, the braces, taking her to her physical. It was no need for that. And now I'm fighting him about taking her to the hair salon. So I'm asking him not to take her to the hair salon. I love doing my baby's hair. That was our bonding time. Yeah, me, her, and the oldest daughter. That was our bonding time. Just like you see when I do the little grandkids hair, when they over, they might come over tonight and I'll go live, right? Doing their hair. Yeah, so my daughter's hair was down her back. Yeah. I asked them to stop taking her to the hair salon because I didn't like the company she was keeping. She was meeting new friends at the hair salon, right? So she had a set of friends, her playing buddies that she played basketball with and golf and cheer with, right? But then when she went to the hair salon, she started meeting new people. Right? So I asked Dad, please tell your grandma, your mother, it's not necessary to take her to the hair salon. I do her hair. I do her hair in a controlled environment. She's not in the hair salon looking at these fast-ass girls all on the internet, social media, dope boys coming in, YNs coming in. She's being exposed to everything that I'm trying to shelter her from. They taking her. Every time I drop her off, they taking her. I'm telling you, it's my fault that I'm where we are right now. It's my fault because I should have stopped her from going over there a long time ago. But when you remove a parent out of a child's life, you have to justify that. You have to have reasons for doing so, right? You don't just remove a parent and a whole family from a child without any explanation whatsoever, right? So fix it. Jesus, fix it. Yeah, so we fighting back and forth with him taking her to school, taking her to get her hair did. Yep, I wanted to limit her exposure, so school was enough. Yep, being around those different kids and what they exposed them to, that was enough. I didn't need no cell phone to encourage it or add on to. I didn't need her in no hair salon to add on to. I didn't need none of that, right? So he making it hard for me to do my job, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Yep, I was trying to preserve innocence. Yep. So him doing that is conflicting, right? Yeah, making it hard. Remember, I'm raising them in my likeness and I'm raising them to be better than me. So I'm on the lookout for certain things. I'm counteracting certain things. I'm ensuring certain things. I'm also breaking cycles. I'm breaking curses. I'm changing stereotypes and narratives with my children. Right? Every 10 years, it should be a shift in our culture. Something should be taking us on that incline every 10 years. So if you instill in certain things, morals and values and certain lessons in your children, they're going to take us to the next level. My children was taking us to the next level. I was building everything on the backs of my kids. And I know I tell y'all don't put all eggs in one basket, but I did. I don't regret it. I don't. Because if Dad wasn't interfering, we would be good right now. Right? So I don't regret doing that. I don't. But I put all my eggs in one basket because I relied and put everything on my children. Right? Never in a million years would I thought we would be separated. Never in a million years would I thought one would turn on me. Never in a million years would I be telling you that I ain't spoke to my baby in almost 6.5 years. Not in a million years would I thought I would be telling you. Especially not coming from 2016. You see where we were at? You see where we were at in 2016, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. So yes, I have to shelter her from. So she's being indirectly exposed. Yeah. So yeah, after school, they was either home with me or we was doing a project. By this time, we filming for the trailer for the book. By this time, we done had a couple of modeling sessions. By this time, we cleaning together. By this time, they done been up to the radio station a few times. By this time. Fix it, Jesus, fix it. I asked him to tell his mother, this is after I found out that the grandmother had called my baby a bitch. I asked him to ask grandma, stop cussing around the baby. Stop cussing at the baby. Stop smoking cigarettes around the baby. Stop drinking alcohol around the baby. I asked dad, stop smoking weed in front of her. Okay? Now, I don't want you to think I'm a goody two-shoe and that I don't do things, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I don't want you to think that, right? But I don't do nothing in front of kids. I don't feel just you're contributing to the delinquency of a minor, right? You are adding on to the exposure, right? So if you don't want your children smoking cigarettes, don't smoke cigarettes around them. If you don't want your children to be alcoholics, don't drink in excess around them and don't allow nobody else to drink around them. You don't want your children to use drugs, don't use drugs. Now, do this work? Is this foolproof? No, right? But it's a start. It's a start. If you're not doing it and you create an environment where nobody else is allowed to do it, it's a start, right? So in 2016, I'm not having any issues or none of that. There's no addictions and there's no disorders. There's no police contact. Everybody's relationships are still intact and we have no issues, right? So I asked him to stop doing that around the baby. Yeah, right? So I asked him to stop doing that around the baby. Yeah, so I created a drug-free environment. This baby daddy, he smoked cigarettes. Now, I used to make him go outside and smoke cigarettes, right? So that solved part of the problem. You know, I prevented the children from taking in any illnesses or taking in secondhand. He smoked, right? So if my children smoke cigarettes or vape or anything like that, it's going to be contributed that I'm going to accept part to blame because he was around them. So he exposed them to smoking cigarettes and stuff, right? So if that's something that they picked up along the way, that would be my fault. Right? But for the most part, I tried to create a drug-free environment for the kids, right? So, did that. But I didn't even let them listen to music that had vulgar language in it. I know, you like I ran a prison. No, I didn't run a prison, right? I exposed them to it enough. I exposed them to the things that they needed to know, right? Things for this life, for this world, right? If my parenting wasn't interrupted, all the stuff that the new administration is doing would not impact us because we will be in a different tax bracket, right? I would still feel for everybody, feel for the people. Damn, I hate he got in office. I hate he doing what he doing to us as people of color. But 2025, coming from 2016, it wouldn't affect us because we would be in a different tax bracket. So let's see, where are we now, right? Yeah, I did the best I could. So as you can see, already you see two different environments that's being created for this baby, right? You see the fact that I don't allow people to smoke or drink or do drugs around her. And then over his house, she's being exposed to people smoking weed around her, people drinking alcohol around her, and people smoking cigarettes around her, which is increasing her chances of picking up some type of ailment from secondhand smoke. I know, two totally different environments that this baby is being brought up in. Yeah, when you guys break up, y'all got to keep some of the stuff the same. Yep, some of the same rules, some of the same chores, some of the same routines. When y'all break up and y'all in separate households, yeah, you got to create normalcy. right? And the way to do that is making sure that some of the same things are going on in both households. You don't want to make too much of a difference or too much of a ripple. Let's see. So let me see. 2 different environments being created. Those other incidents when she said what she said to me about her dad and them, I don't know how she's affected. I don't know if she's still affected by it at that time, because she wasn't acting no different and she didn't say anything to me anymore that will have me thinking that somebody is still having an inappropriate conversation with her. But obviously it was still going on, right? So I know that they still talking bad about me over there, right? And doing negative talk. Because it had to be for her not to be in my life right now, right? So it had to still been going on. Daughters don't just turn on their mothers. I can't keep saying that. I can't say that. Daughters just don't turn. Daughters don't just turn on their mothers. I can't keep saying that. I can't say that. Daughters just don't turn and go against their mothers. It has to be something. It has to be something. Either I'm a toxic mother that's not accepting accountability, or somebody turned her against me. Either I'm a toxic mother and I did all these things, these horrible things to her for her to hate me, or somebody turned her against me. It's either or. You can't have both. It's either or, right? Yeah. We were close. We did everything together. I love my children. I love being a mama, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. So for there to be hate, there to be separation, divide, distance, yeah, that don't happen. Yeah. Why would she have to turn against me? Why would she have to be taking out my life? Yeah. So if I had all these things working in my favor, somebody's still talking bad about me. Yeah. But it's crazy because when I pick her up, I'm asking how everybody doing. Right? So she's experiencing, again, 2 different environments that's being created for her. So if I'm asking and showing care and concern for her dad and his people, and that's not being shown for me, that's 2 totally different environments that she's being brought up in. Those are 2 sets of morals and values that's being taught, because she was raised with my village. So I've had my mom and my dad's side in my life. She was raised with seeing that. So to see one family saying all 4 family and families first, and then when she go over her dad's house, she's in an environment where they say fuck family, right? Everybody for themselves. 2 different environments. At the end of the day, she had to make a choice. So she's being raised seeing both of those sides. And I was being demonized, right? And that's another manipulation too. When a parent has nothing good to say about you, they're either not talking about you at all, but they're definitely not acknowledging anything that you're doing that's good. They're not recognizing nothing that you're doing. Everything that you do is bad. Everything. So I know I was being demonized to that little girl. Can you imagine what they had to say to make me look bad? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that baby girl only seeing me do good deeds, only seeing me looking out for people, only seeing me being the best person and version of a person that I can be, right? Can you imagine somebody making me look bad, though? Can you imagine what they would have had to say to her every time I dropped her off over there for her to feel a way about me? So I know gaslighting was used. Yep, that's a manipulation tip where they make your child see something that's not there, right? They make your child not see certain things, right? So that means she had to unsee everything that she saw me do, right? So you got to think about whatever technique they had to use, whatever they had to say to gaslight her, they did, right? What can they say about the youth program, right? I deal with children with behavior issues. I'm featured on TV. And I got a good relationship with the police department and juvenile court system. I have a good success rate, right? What could they say about that to this baby? Because she was excited about the youth program. She was excited about going to the jail tours. She was excited to be a mentor. She was excited to go to the family meetings and talk to the children and the parents, right? So what could they possibly say? All they had to do was say it was stupid and it don't work. Yep. It's a waste of time. So every time she would say something about the youth program, they would have to say something to the effect of it being stupid. They got to say something to the effect that it's being a waste of time. They have to say something to that effect. Yep. What could they say about the radio show? I promote black-owned people, black-owned businesses. Yeah, I support our people. I support any event, anything that has to do with us, anything that's informative, that's going to help uplift us as a people. What could they say about my radio show to make that baby not want to be excited about going anymore? They used to love to see me on the mic. They used to love to see me doing events and presentations and just walking around hobnobbing. They used to watch me. They admired me. They looked up to me. They respected me, right? Why would any of that have to change? You're supposed to love and respect your mother. You're supposed to look up to your mother. In most cases, you want to emulate your mom. You want to be just like her. Why would anybody distort that for this little girl? When I'm hitting such great heights, when I'm on a constant incline, why would anybody want to stop that for her? Right? So they can say the radio show is stupid. They can say don't nobody watch it. They can say I'm not famous. Don't nobody know who I am. I just think I'm this and that. They can say that to her every time I drop her off. That's going to make her not like the radio show or care about the radio show. And look at me as if I ain't doing nothing special. So what, I traveled. So what, I interviewed stars. So what, I was on red carpets and movie premieres. That don't mean nothing. I know. It do mean something, though. That's a lot. That's impressive. Coming from where I come from. Yeah. The cleaning company. That's a family business. That's a way for me to create generational wealth, get me and my kids about the hood. Never look back. That's a way for me to generate money for us to invest in our own different businesses, right? Why would they have anything negative to say about that? Well, they can say that you ain't no slave. They can say you ain't no maid. They can say she got you cleaning. She shouldn't have you cleaning. You going off to college. You ain't got to do this and that and the third. That's all they will have to say to turn this little girl against me and not wanting to clean. She ain't clean since. Yeah, I'm the only one cleaning now. Yeah, I had a team of 5. Do you know what you can do with 5 people? Do you know what you can do with a team of 5 people? Me doing painting and drywall. Yeah, I built this wall right here. Want to see it? Yeah, I converted my basement to a club on one side and a theater on the other. That's the wall that I built. Yeah, to separate the two. And that platform right there, I built that. I'm going to put my recliners on that in a couple weeks. I'm trying to do it before Christmas, but yeah, the recliner's going to go there. I know it's a lot of stuff on there. That's the fan. I'm about to put the fan up. And I'm going to finish that sub. But this is the type of stuff that I do. This is the type of stuff that I was teaching my kids. Teaching them about tools. I didn't want them to just be a pretty face. Yeah, because I'm fine as hell at 52, right? But that only gets you so far. Yeah, beauty fades. Yeah, I wanted them to have knowledge. I wanted them to be able to do hands-on stuff, to be able to just hustle if they have to, do whatever they have to do. I never want them to be in compromising situations where they feel like they have to do something, right? They have to sleep with this nigga to get this. No, I don't. I can go paint a room. I can go hang a TV. I can go build a floor. I can do whatever. I don't have to do nothing that I don't want to. I don't have to compromise my morals and values. I don't have to do, you know what I'm saying? I was raising them to be morally sound, right? Fix it, Jesus. I didn't want them caught up in this life. I didn't want them caught up in the social media world, all this fake shit. I didn't want them caught up in none of that. Materialistic. I didn't want them caught up in none of that, right? Let's see. So, yeah, all I got to do is say the radio show, drywall. All I got to do is to dampen that and say, girls, don't do that. Women don't do that type of work. So if you got an ignorant person with that type of mentality that's telling her that women don't do that type of work, you already putting limitations on my baby. So here it is. I'm making her feel that the sky is the limit, and you putting limitations on my baby. So everything is counterproductive. Everything is conflicting with one another. Yeah. When somebody's going against you and you raising the baby, y'all going against each other and you conflicting one another. And before long, that baby don't know nothing. Ain't nothing being instilled, and that baby don't know nothing. Yeah. So yeah, my girls looked up to me. They were fascinated with me and me being able to do certain things, right? They were just in awe. Yeah. So all this time in 2016, even though they planting those seeds in the baby, the other children are not affected yet, and my household is not affected yet in 2016. I have not a clue that all this is going on. I have not a clue that dad is using 16 manipulation tips every time I drop her off. I have not a clue that those 4 incidents that I thought I nipped in the bud is still going on by 2016. Yep, a lot of stuff that was going on in 2016 not going on right now. Yep, a lot of stuff stopped instantly. Yeah. Now, I'm about to give you a story. I'm going to bring us up to speed. A couple years ago, and this is how I know some of the techniques that they use, because I see it in the children now. My children are grown, but it's certain aspects of their life, certain things that I see, certain things that I tried to shelter them from that I see in them as adults, right? The demonized, me being demonized. I know that that's something that was going on with the baby. I know them downplaying everything that I do was done to the baby. And I know that a lot of stuff was swept up under. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? So me getting up every morning, taking them to school, picking them up. Yeah, I do supposed to do that. But you know, as that's perks. You probably didn't take your kids to school. You probably didn't pick them up. They probably caught the bus. And I'm not saying that's a knock towards you, but that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure my babies were safe. I enjoyed seeing them at the beginning of my day, dropping them off, and I enjoyed seeing them when I picked them up. And we had our car ride conversations, right? So, yeah, but a lot of the stuff I did that was extra, decorating their room, decorating their lockers, like taking their friends somewhere after because their mom and them didn't pick them up. So it was a lot of little stuff that I did that shouldn't have been swept up under. That's what I'm supposed to do. It should have been put in a different category, like your mom is special. Your mom loves you. That's why she does this, and that. That shouldn't have been put up under. That's what she's supposed to do, right? So a lot of stuff was done to downplay who I am, right? Example, the oldest, 2 years ago, I took her to Miami for Mother's Day weekend, right? The baby girl should have been there, and I wish she was, but I took the oldest to Miami, right? We stayed close to where the ports are, where the boats take off at. We was in a Marriott. We was in a nice hotel. Pool up top on the roof, right? In our room, we had a balcony. We was on our balcony, right? Just chilling, talking. We didn't even have our cell phones on, right? Ludacris rolled past the pond up under our room. So close to where he saw us, we saw him. We was like, hey, Luda! She jumped up, I jumped up, we all excited, right? And then him and his security kept going. They waved at us and kept going. But that lets you know where we were staying, and I'm quite sure he was staying close to us, so that lets you know the type of hotel we were staying here, right? And then to be able to see him. Do you know I asked her if she told anybody that, and she said no. Typically, that's something that most, and I'm not mad at her for not saying anything, but that just lets you know the level that I've been put under. It's so low, so devalued. So that's something that I'm quite sure most kids are going to brag about. Right? Because you got to keep in mind, 2016, they were bragging about me just as much as I was bragging about them. Right? So for that to stop, for something had to happen right? For me to be devalued to where that experience wasn't worth sharing, right? That was something to brag about. My mama took me to Miami. I ain't had to pay for nothing. We flew. We did this. We did that. We seen Luda, right? But that lets you know how I've been devalued and how I've been demonized and how I've been played. So tomorrow we're going to unpack that. Yeah, before I age the girls, we're going to talk about the psychological damage, and we're going to talk about the adverse effect that it has caused our family just since 2016 up until now. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to age the girls. So y'all, that's it. I got a million things to do. I'm going to finish this workout. Sorry, Facebook. I'm going to repost the whole video because I know y'all only caught snippets. I'm out. When I get famous, I'm going to have a whole production team, right? All right, I'm out, guys. Yep, I'm going to have an announcer. He going to be like, and today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl. Y'all think I'm playing? Yeah, watch. I'm going to have psychologists come on, psychiatrists, all type of therapists come on, talk about mental health issues, talk about some of the things that we talk about. I'm going to have parents come on and share how they feel, some of their experiences. It's going to be a good talk show. Coffee and Conversation with Shakenya. Just stay tuned. Yep. Okay, guys. Enjoy. Thanks, TikTok, for checking in. I was talking to me, make sure I don't miss nobody. Nope, I think I got it. Okay, guys. Follow my YouTube channel, Coffee and Conversation with Shakenya, for more. Mwah.